Have you ever been at a funeral repast and all of a sudden you see the aunt and the sister of the deceased arguing? Now you think this is something very serious. Turns out the aunt was listed as the aunt on the obituary versus the sister of the deceased. Hi, I'm Noah Davis, and welcome to the One Heart Minute. One of the most important things that you can do for your family is help them avoid chaos, confusion, and conflict when someone passes away. The only way to do that is preparation. And one big piece of preparation is having proper life insurance. Now, one of the biggest things about life insurance, the reason that people don't buy it, is they don't understand it. So by not understanding life insurance, people actually do nothing. And then when something happens, they don't know what to do. So one of the things I want to talk about today is education. One of the biggest pieces of life insurance is educating clients on the need and the use of life insurance. Life insurance is used for one major thing, and that thing is to help the family avoid any financial burden upon the passing of a loved one. By avoiding that financial burden, what we find is a lot of times we see clients who don't have the money for funerals. And when they don't have the money for funerals, that causes a lot of chaos, confusion, and conflict in the family. Have you ever seen a family who are there putting out buckets or trying to raise money by selling chicken dinners or putting their information out on GoFundMe? By the way, GoFundMe is not life insurance. And so now you're dependent upon the kindness of strangers to prepare for something that we all knew that was going to happen. Now, death is no surprise. I mean, we always act like it is, but we know that death is no surprise. It's coming. So as sure as we come to be put on this earth, we are going to leave. So we got to understand that. So we have to prepare for that. So purchase life insurance. Now, what do I need to do when I'm purchasing life insurance? Well, first of all, you need to sit down and talk to someone who's knowledgeable. And most of the time, that's going to be an insurance agent. And a lot of times people say, well, I don't need to talk to an insurance agent. I know everything I need to know and I understand everything I need to understand. So I'm just going to go on the internet and I'm going to buy the insurance. By the way, it's cheaper there anyway. Well, we got to understand that cheaper is not always better. And the other part about that is that you don't have an opportunity to have a discussion with someone about what you're actually purchasing. So why meet with an agent? Well, because all life insurance is not created equal. Now, at the same token, all life insurance agents aren't created equal. So just like with anything else, you have good agents and you have bad agents. The thing that you want to do is understand what you need to ask and the questions you need to ask to get clarification on what you are buying so that you make the right decision. Now, when you sit down with your agent, they're there to educate you, first of all. Now, if you find an agent that's want to hurry up and go through and do their sales pitch and then get you to write a check, that's probably not the right agent for you. You want someone who is going to take their time and really explain everything to you, explain all the details of the life insurance to you, and give you an opportunity to ask questions. Now, one of the things that you can do for your clients, as I do a lot of times, is whenever they ask me a question, I answer that question, but if it's not the right question, I help them understand why that's not the question they should ask. And then I help them understand to ask the right questions. Because sometimes when you're purchasing life insurance, as with anything else, you don't know what you don't know. So if no one tells you, you'll never know the difference. But all life insurance is not created equal. So you got to understand that. So when buying life insurance, make sure that you understand what you need, what you can afford, and also what you want. Now keep in mind, they may be three different things. The most important thing in that is what you can afford. See, what happens with a lot of clients is that, as the old saying says, they bite off more than they can chew. So they purchase a life insurance policy that costs them a lot more than they can truly afford because it sounds good, the face amount sounds good, and they're buying something that they may not necessarily understand. Now, what happens with that is that They may make the payment the first month. They may make it the second month. The third month comes around and it gets a little tougher to make that life insurance payment. Now, as we all know and we've experienced, those who have had life insurance and don't have life insurance, is one of the first things to go when you're in a tough situation is the life insurance. Now, why is that? Well, life insurance is not a tangible purchase. You can't look at it, you can't feel it, you can't taste it, you can't get outside and go drive it around, you can't be seen in it. So we let that go. But when in essence, it's the most important thing that we can do if you care about your family and your loved ones. Because you want to make sure that things are in place when something happens to you, that they can, with ease, take care of your funeral arrangements without grieving twice. They're going to grieve at your loss. There's no doubt about that. That's going to happen. But you don't want them grieving over the fact is that now we cannot put you away decently in order the way that you would want to be put away. That is very important. And when you have those things in place, that does help avoid chaos, confusion, and conflict. Because if you don't have it, families do argue, families do get upset at each other. This is a very volatile situation. And what we want to make sure that you do is we keep emotions down as much as we can, because you're going to be emotional, you're going to have an opportunity to vent, but a lot of times things come up that people have been holding in for years, and that's where the fussing, the fighting, and the arguing comes in. We want to avoid that. So putting life insurance is very important, in place is very important, but also just as important is putting down your plans in writing as to what you want, all the way down from what you want to where you want to be, where you want to be buried, what you want to wear, who you want to conduct your services. All of those things are essentially very, very, very important. So you want to make sure that you have things in order so that your family does not have to deal with those types of things, because those are the types of things that make sure that, well, that will ensure that you do have chaos, confusion, and conflict if you don't have those things in place. And we've all seen that. We've all seen families torn apart, where you have people not speaking to each other for the next 25, 30 years because someone said something that the other one didn't like or they didn't understand, and they ended up being upset and mad and could not go back to that person to apologize, and there is no clarity during that time because emotions are running too high. And very seldom do you see people go back and apologize to each other when something like that happens. So what I want you to do is understand two things. I want you to understand the importance of purchasing life insurance, and I want you to understand the importance of putting together your funeral plans in place. And to be able to do that, you want to be able to talk to a reputable life insurance agent to be able to explain that to you.